price is always on the mind of a sales organization. You can see pricing going through some disruption. Talk to us about pricing in the new world for sellers and how they can use it as an advantage and not as something that they try to minimize and walk away from.
Let me first talk about price in both the old world and the new world, because in both worlds, pricing is the moment of truth. Price is where you test in the marketplace, which is the real test. And let me use some of the examples you use, subscription businesses, because you're quite right, they're growing. But if, like most businesses, you got to show a profit, you can't, like the Amazons of the world, go a decade underwater. Subscription businesses are very, very tricky, much more tricky than the way they're typically talked about. Many of them adopt some version of a freemium strategy, right? You're going to be able to use it up to a certain number of users or for a certain period of time. And then with software, kaboom, if you want more, you've got to pony up to a paying subscription. If you look at the data there, it is a small minority of businesses that are able to execute that land and expand upsell approach. And secondly, the key, and your examples are good, is it by user? Is it by feature? Is it a gain sharing outcome-based mechanism of some kind? The key issue that you're pointing to there, Chad, is making sure that you have clarified the relevant unit of value for the customer. That's joint creation, joint understanding. So that's a prerequisite. But secondly, that unit of value on the pricing side has to fit with your business model. Let me give you an example from what I think we'd agree is a 21st century business. And, it's very much in the papers now because of the pandemic. Netflix would introduce a movie, they produce movies as well as show them. They would introduce a movie and make it available streaming on Netflix at the same time that it would be in a theater. Now, why? Why were they doing that? Why does it seem that they were cannibalizing their proprietary product? They have a different business. It's a different unit of value. Netflix is not in the business of selling individual movies. They're in the business of selling a package. And if your package is big enough and you've got good data, you can set a price for access to that package that's just a bit below consumer willingness to pay and maximize your profit that way. Any individual studio, on the other hand, it's a different business, a different unit of value. So the other thing that's necessary here is understanding the unit of value in your business and which customers agree that's my value as well. That's getting straight about success metrics, outcomes, all the other things that at Ecosystems you quite rightly emphasize. Those basics remain fundamental.